Dustin, you played cornerback in the NFL, defensive back.
Yes.
And we are going to talk about the Browns' best strategies in the secondary to try and slow down this high-powered Bengals passing attack on Sunday. Denzel Ward is at the podium right now. He was asked if he would prefer to shadow Ja'Marr Chase on Sunday. He answered, I want to do, let me quote Denzel Ward, I want to do whatever I have to help this team win, end quote. So non-committal, which probably means he knows he's not going to do that, but we'll find out for sure on Sunday. So, Dustin, if you were Jim Schwartz and you were devising a scheme to slow down Joe Burrow, Ja'Marr Chase, T. Higgins, God bless you.
Thank you.
What is the Browns' best strategy from a coverage standpoint and a secondary standpoint to try and keep this Bengals passing attack at bay?
I mean, it's always interesting when you want to shadow a corner on a wide receiver because you're not always playing man-to-man coverage every snap that you play. You know, not every down is man-to-man. So, like, for instance, there were times at Ohio State where Chris Gamble, who played opposite me, would shadow, let's say, Braylon Edwards at Michigan, which thank God I didn't have to shadow Braylon Edwards. Let Chris handle that. So, like, he would travel with him side to side, and whether he was in man or zone, he just played left or whatever side Braylon was on. He would follow him and play whatever coverage we would on that field. Now, the interesting thing about that is teams would then try to put him in motion or do other things to try to figure out what we were in defensively. So that creates a bit of a challenge. But listen, Denzel Ward is by far the best corner we have, probably top 5 corner for sure in the NFL, and Ja'Marr Chase is probably the best receiver in football. So to me, there's really no other answer than to put Denzel Ward on Ja'Marr Chase as much as you possibly can, regardless if it's man coverage or not. You want him on that side of the field where Ja'Marr Chase is at. Does it put the defense in a tough spot? Maybe, depending on what those other guys' abilities are. I mean, I'm not in that room to know if I'm comfortable enough leaving those other guys on an island against the other. I mean, they've got other good players. They got good tight ends. They got good receivers. Higgins is damn good. Like, there's a lot of weapons on that offense. So I don't have the great answer other than if I were looking at Ja'Marr Chase, he would scare me to death, and I would want to have my best guy, who is one of the best in the business, to follow that dude. Period.
Cleveland Browns, you guys, just Cleveland Browns. Listen, let me just talk to you real quick. Let me talk to you real quick. Come to the office real quick. Listen, man, you see the headaches you can cause when you actually have more than one good person at a position. Your practices and the way you build your roster is annoying, it's archaic, and it's just backwards. You got Jerry Jeudy on your roster, and you line him up with Jamari Thrash. Now he played decent, but it ain't no one's scared of that. You can take one player out of the game, just like Dustin was just talking about it. One ain't good enough. We talk about Myles Garrett. Who's your next guy over there? Yep. If you had another one, you see the Bengals got 2 dudes. So
Operation Stockpile.
So when you're stockpiling your armory, you just don't go to war with machine guns. See, you got grenades, you got flamethrowers, you got missile launchers, you got a bunch of infantry. They even got old school bayonets. They just brought them back just to be scary to you. Like, dang, he got a sword on his gun. That's crazy. This is, for me, I'm gonna tell you this. Even if Ja'Marr Chase don't really go off, T. Higgins can get spammed. They might just decide to spam T. Higgins. Like, hey, you thought we didn't have nobody? We got another 1,000-yard guy with 10 touchdowns on the other side. Greg Newsome, good luck. You're gonna have a long day. You can't even move them like that. Like, really, to realistically think about it. Plus, here's the thing, too. Dustin just pointed out something that I never really actually thought about. You're not in man coverage all the time. You know how smart you got to be to go from one side of the field to another covering somebody, but know what the backside of that zone coverage looks like. If it's front side, back side, is this number 1, this is number 2, what are you doing in the run fit? You got to know all of that. Most times, if you just a regular boundary corner, they just say, okay, you over here, you play the same technique. You ain't got to worry about it. You just memorize. But when you start flip-flopping, now it takes people communicating. And that's what the Browns don't do too well in the secondary. Heck, we can't even play regular zone sometimes. And guys just want to ride open. So, no, there's no option for them to be running around with Ja'Marr Chase. They just don't have they don't got the bandwidth to do it. You just hope Greg Newsome lines up and plays good, solid coverage and make him take another snap.
Yeah, listen, I mean, the only thing the hope for this week is just that for whatever reason, the Bengals have been bad the first couple of weeks of the season 3 years in a row. Their offense doesn't look like they never look in sync the first couple of weeks for whatever reason. Now, Ross Tucker made a great point. They have Joe Burrow. Again, Joe Burrow had never played a preseason game before this year. Not once. Not 1 minute, not one snap. This year he played like a full game between 2 games. So totally different approach they've had this year. It's the first healthy training camp he's had. Plus, like last year, Jamar Chase was holding in, and T. Higgins was hurt.
Too.
Everybody got paid.
Everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy on the offense. You can say what you want about the Bengals defense. Could they suck? Sure. Could teams score even the Browns on them? Maybe.
Look at that year.
To me, the Bengals offense
Insane.
is the most talented offense in the league, and I'm not even sure it's close. Joe Burrow's a top 5 quarterback. Jamar Chase is the best receiver in football. T. Higgins is a top 25 wide receiver at worst. Their number 3 wide receiver, Andre Yosivas, whose name I can barely pronounce. The guy had 500 yards and 6 touchdowns last year. He's like the 5th option on their offense.
Cedric Tillman.
They have 2 legitimate tight ends. Neither is great. But Gesicki and Noah Fant, they're both solid NFL tight ends. And then they run in these 3rd and 4th tight ends. They play them all. Chase Brown is maybe the most underrated running back in the league. If you look at what he did the second half of last year, when he was like the main guy, he was amazing. And the offensive line, I said this yesterday, despite all the talk about it, I think it's the best offensive line he's ever had around him. The only weakness I was worried about was right guard. They just signed a veteran a week ago, which I thought was a good move. And my guess is he's going to start this game. So the offense, to me, your only hope is that Denzel Ward can shut down Jamar Chase, and he's the only DB in the league that's done it at times. And you gotta hope that the other guys who are in the end not as good as Chase just don't have that nobody has a monster game. But it's tough because everybody the Bengals put on the field at a skill position is a weapon. And Joe Burrow will throw to anybody, and there's guys who are going to catch the ball and make plays more often than not.
This is what pains me. We just had to sit up here and hear Bull run down his 2025 outlook for the Bengals, and I can't say nothing about it.
No, it's all true.
I can't even hate. I can't even be like, yeah, no, Bull. I want to have the Kool-Aid pouring from the ceiling, but the Browns have given me no ammunition. They've given me no ammunition. I can't argue with that, bro.
They haven't. Everything Bull said is true. See if you guys agree with this. I think the 4 biggest tests that they'll face this season offensively are in the division. They'll get 2 with Cinci and 2 with Baltimore. I think
That's crazy.
the only one that I would say would be more difficult than Sunday is going to be when we have to go to Cincinnati and play the Bengals down there. This is the number 1 offense in the NFL. They will finish the season as number 1. They have the number 1 quarterback, in my view. Joe Burrow, if he's not right now the best quarterback in the league, I ask myself this, who's the one guy you'd want right now? I want Joe Burrow over everybody else. At wide receiver, who's the one wide receiver I want? Give me Chase. This offense is going to be prolific. And Sunday is a daunting task. I don't know. It's interesting. Ross, as he was going through how you use Myles Garrett, it's a push-pull. You know, if you put him in the same place every time, you know he's
I thought that was interesting.
It was really interesting to hear him say it. I wanted to put his feet to the fire, but I knew he had other questions and we wanted to move on. But I wanted to say, okay, you're the D coordinator. I know you say we get it. There's advantages to keeping him on the same spot, and there's advantages to moving him. What are you doing with him? I wish I wanted to do that. It's the same thing with Denzel Ward. If you decide that he's going to, a la Gamble's going to lock him up every play, there's difficulty in that, as you said, because everybody's assignment is constantly changing, and everybody needs to be way buttoned in and communication.
Yeah.
That's been our weakness.
That's not our
There's
thing.
been plays where everybody's looking around like,
Who's that guy?
I don't have him. I thought you had him. Guy's wide open, 30 yards, nobody with anywhere near him. If a team has the ability to do that to a defense, it's the Bengals to the Browns. Every guy's a weapon. Every guy can hurt you. So it's a pick your poison. if you want to try to take Chase out of the game, which I don't think you're going to do, even
not
if Denzel,
Yeah.
and here's what I'm saying. Ward is a top 5 corner in my eye. Chase is number 1 at wide receiver and getting better. I think this year's going to be his best year yet if he stays healthy. So advantage Bengals.
Which is hard to say because he won the Triple Crown.
I know he
receivers
did,
last
which almost
year.
never happens.
Yeah.
But he just was clearly the number 1.
Yeah.
And take into account, Bull, you know this as well as anyone, they looked anemic the first half of the season, particularly
especially the first quarter.
The first quarter of the season. And I think, to Ross's point, they missed the playoffs for one reason. They stubbed their toe coming out of the gate.
Yep.
I think the offseason was built on one premise. September 5th, or whatever the date is, 7th, we're going to be ready to go. We're going to play that like it's week 17 because they all count the same. And I think what we saw in the preseason, Joe Burrow doesn't play in the preseason. I think this is an absolute, and Russ is right. If they lose, disastrous for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Even though it's a road divisional,
Yeah.
it is still a disaster because it's a team they should boat race. And all of their offseason talk and planning has been on one thing. Quick start. Let's go. Let's get out of the
100%.
gate and let's go.
Yeah.
And if you lose this game, now week 2 is even more daunting. I just think it's pick your poison. I don't think it's going to matter. If Ward locks him up or not, I don't think it's going to matter.
I think Chase has a, matchup is a funny thing. I think Chase has his game, and I think Ward will make some plays, Chase will make some plays. But this game is going to come down to way stuff outside of that. I mean, you said it. Brown is a very underrated running back. I watched him last year, because I've had him on my fantasy team, and I got to see him. He has nice bursts. He's very underrated. They do use a lot of tight ends, and that's the thing. It's not that's the way your offense should be. Your offense shouldn't be a game plan. The offense is predicated on what the defense is trying to do. All right, y'all did this, we're going to pivot to this. Oh, you did this, you can't stop this. Like, when you got multiple things that you can layer and mix in, plus the fact that you got a quarterback that right now is probably trending as the number 1 quarterback in the game, it's hard to keep those guys locked up for 3 quarters because Joe Burrow can come out and have a big play, or he could come out in the 4th quarter and run off a couple of touchdowns, and then at the end of the game, you say, we played really well, and then you had the Cleveland Browns conversation. We played really well, can't miss field goals.
Yeah.
Played really well, we can't kick field goals down there. The penalty when we had the screenplay set up came back, that hurt us. Those things happen to teams that is right here on the margin. Like, they don't got enough talent to do. The Bengals can hurt themselves.
Yeah.
We can't hurt ourselves.
Yeah,
so
they can overcome.
Yeah, they can overcome
the
that
silly
type of
mistakes,
stuff.
and we're not there yet.
By the way, the last 8 games of the season, total yards, rushing and receiving combined for just Brown, because he's like such an afterthought.
Yeah, I know he is.
Brown last 8 games, this was his yardage, rushing and
Total
catching.
yards.
Yeah, total yards. 157, 94, 143, 100, 123, 125, 109, 91.
Now, I'm going to say something that probably
Yeah.
make you angry and disagree with me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's just a guy.
Yeah.
I'm saying he benefits from having weapons all over.
Of course, 100%.
So if you're the Browns, it is a pick your poison. Okay, we've got Chase. We've got Higgins. We've got the tight ends who, as you say, they're very serviceable. They're serviceable because there's plays to be made for everyone else when so much attention goes to stopping
That's right. When your
Chase.
best player is the best,
Yeah.
it makes everybody better. So now, if you're maybe below average, well, now you're average. And
Yes.
if you're average, maybe you're above average.
And I think-
if you're above average,
Yes.
now you're good. Because he's so good that it's the same thing with Myles Garrett, which just shows you how bad the Browns D-line's been. He's the best player. He does make the guys a little better around him, but there's just so much he can do.
And he still looks as great as he does,
Yeah.
despite the fact he draws all the attention and doesn't
Yeah.
get much help. That's the extraordinary player.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals are the perfect storm for them. It's perfect for them because you have a guy in Joe Burrow who is, if not the best quarterback, for me, he's in the top 2 or 3. And then you got Chase, who's to me definitively number 1. Well, whenever you pair that up, good luck. Good luck stopping that.
It just goes back to the way you think about building your team. It's so many times where a team will say, I got a top 5 quarterback, I can have Jags at receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can, but you'll top out.
Now give him a number 1
Give
receiver.
him a ball player, and now it's cheating because now it's just like,
Yeah.
what do you do?
And
Like,
if nothing else,
It's Tom Brady and Randy Moss.
yeah.
you know, listen, to some degree you say, well, if you don't win a Super Bowl, what is it? Doesn't matter, right? But there's something to be said for when your basement is 9-8 and missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Yes.
Like if when you have that level of quarterback, that's your basement, especially when you combine it with that level of wide receiver.
Every year you're in it. You're in the mix. And the thing I'm scared about, and it just shows you how much there are holes in this roster for the Browns. Somebody tell me who the starting nickelback is.
The depth chart says Cam Mitchell. We'll
Yeah.
find out officially on
We'll find out.
Sunday.
That man couldn't get lined up. He was getting toasted all preseason, just giving up. He on the goal line. Whatever happened to say, put your foot on the goal line and make him. This dude is just giving all kind of cushion. If that is your nickel guy, right? You're in trouble.
When you're as weak, you're as strong
You
as your
are
weakest
in
link.
trouble. They're gonna be a 3 wide receivers a whole lot and a lot.